Hey guys, welcome back to a new YouTube video. Today I'll be going over my Monster High redesigns. So over the past year or so, I've been posting on Instagram my various redesigns of the ghouls of Monster High. This includes all the characters that have dolls, including some bonus characters that don't deserve to have dolls, like from the comics or were in the movie but weren't really shown. And when I say comics, I mean Spelden. But that's that. Otherwise, these will include my headcanons, how I think they should dress, and these are my opinions about their OG outfits. If you don't like it, you don't need to listen to them. Also, this is not a speed paint, this is just commentary on my designs. I'll just go over my inspirations and my ideas. So this will be a long video, so get some snacks and get whatever you need to do, and let's get started. For our first character, we're starting with Abby Abominable, and her style you can kind of see is just like her OG one, but in my style. And yeah, so it's pretty much simpler, the same thing. I just kind of made her more muscular, more buff, and otherwise there's not much difference. And yeah, that's kind of it. Next is Amida Nightshade. So Amida Nightshade is based on the Corpse Flower. She is the daughter or the spawn of the Corpse Flower. So I made her more Corpse Flower inspired. So her skirt and her little hat are both Corpse Flower inspired. She has nightshades on her skirt as well because Amina Nightshade, and she's wearing a moss boa. Overall style inspiration was like a showgirl inspiration, like a movie star, because in the cartoon she comes out of like the Corpse Flower, and I feel like that grand entrance is so movie star coded, so I kind of wanted to give her that kind of energy, that vibe, and yeah. Next is Andy Beast. Now for Andy, he never got a doll, so this is completely my interpretation. First of all, I gave him more fuller facial hair, made him a bit less like muscular, but still having a different body shape. He's more chubbier. I gave him like body hair and stuff. And I gave him Native Hawaiian face paint because in the show, the movie Skull Shores, we know that they're going to the Great Scary Reef or wherever Laguna's family's from. And if we take from America to Australia, you'll reach somewhere in Polynesia. And I guess Hawaii will be the first place you'd be. So he is Hawaiian in my headcanon. And his aesthetic for his outfit's kind of beachy, like dad on vacation core. It's kind of just his actual style he's wearing, but like a bit more like dad, like, I don't know. Imagine he finds his clothes randomly and he has to wear what he can find. Next is Astronova. So Astronova's design is very simple. I feel like her OG design was very crowded. It had so much crystalline going on. It was really loud. So I want to kind of tone it down, make her look a little less like bright and shiny and a bit more toned down, as I said before. So she still has her mirrored crystals, but they're a bit toned down. And I also give her like these braided hairstyle, and I also showed her ears because she doesn't even really have ears. I still kept like the weird proportions, and yeah, so here she is, very simple but still pretty. We love her all the same. Next is Avia Trotter. So Avia Trotter's design, I have to say, is inspired by the fact that her original design looks like she's doing polo, I'm presuming. And when I think of polo, I think of the preppy American brand US Polo Assassins. So I've made her completely this preppy vibe, like she's going to a country club. She has that on style. I feel like it is really fits her personality as well. So she has sweater, a polo shirt, leg warmers, a plaid skirt covering her hind legs, a hat, and also I gave her bigger wings to kind of emphasize the harpy aspect and kept the feathers on her like hooves and stuff. So she's still similar but a little different in my version. Next is Betsy Claro. Now Betsy Claro is based on the white vampire bat that is native to Honduras, but it can be found, I guess, in parts of Costa Rica in this lore, or Costa Rica in the Monster High lore. So, keeping up with the fact that she's still Costa Rican in my version, I gave her similar to her OG design, but I gave her inspiration from Costa Rican traditional clothing, and I kept a lot of the aspects from her OG design, like the shoe basket weaving, as well as like the flowers in her hair. I mean, it's not really obvious, I guess it's not really flowers, but you know, she has a like kind of crown thing. So I just change it with some flowers, give her two braids. Overall, kind of kept her very green and grassy. Because not a lot of monster characters are really green, and if they are, they're not really lime green like Batsy is. So I really want to lean in with that color palette to make her look contrasting with other golds. And anyways, I really love her. She's one of my favorite characters, honestly. She's pretty cool. And yeah, next up is my actual all-time favorite ghoul in Monster High, Bonita Femur. She is my favorite out of all the characters. I love her so much. So I've redesigned her and drawn her so many times. She's the one I have the most fan art of on my Instagram. So if you want to check that out, go follow my Instagram. And here is my interpretation. So I gave her a much more pastel palette to kind of give her this like fairy core aesthetic. Because I feel like she really suits that. Plus she likes doing thrifting and stuff. So I feel like nowadays a lot of thrifting aesthetic is this like fairy core kind of like cottagey kind of aesthetic. And I feel like really suits her. I also gave her some more glitters and like these neons still to kind of give homage to her original outfit because I feel like it really suits her. And yeah, overall, she has this like pretty fairy vibe to her. I gave her more pastels. And yeah, this is kind of her. She has a gradient in her hair, and like her hair is a bit more styled differently. I don't really get why she had like a really high up, like high ponytail. It was really weird. So yeah, but she's still my favorite character, and here she is now in my style. There's a lot of attributes I continuously do in her redesigns, and redesigns from other fan art I've done of her. So yeah, as I said, check my Instagram account for more of that. Next up is CA Cupid, and for her I was inspired by Mikan Mandarin slash Mina Murad, the YouTuber slash fashion designer, and her brand Vita the Valley. As you can see, the different items I used from her brand, like the skirt, the shoes, and the bolero. But also, I was really inspired by Mikan herself in CA Cupid. Her face and her hairstyle was kind of inspired by her. But also Angel Core fashions like Artemis the Virtual Angel and other Angel Core aesthetics. I also made her hair have that iconic Cupid's arrow inspiration. Overall, you can kind of see a lot of the OG Cupid in her too, with the like drippy skirt and obviously the iconic hard bone wings in her design. Next up is Casta Fierce. As everyone knows, Casta Fierce is based on Sasha Fierce, who is Beyonce's alter ego, which she had during the late 2000s, early 2010s. And for my Sasha Fierce design, Casta Fierce design, sorry, I designed her based off of this 2000s Beyonce look I found because I feel like it really suits her. And also because at the time I was doing it's like a mini collection of ghouls as like decades, and I made Sasha Casta Fierce as the 2000s. So I kind of based around like this Beyonce look, but also giving her like a bedazzled top, bedazzled jeans, because I feel like she has a very glittery outfit in her OG design, so we wanted to keep the glitter up with her, and she's kind of doing that single ladies kind of pose, kind of honing in the Beyonce references, and yeah, here she is, pretty cool, pretty aesthetic. Next up is Katrine Demu. Now, Katrine's design is based off of the fact that she rides a motorcyclist. She rides a motorcycle, and so I kind of based her outfit on like motorcyclists. So she has like a biker jacket, biker gloves, biker shorts, and biker goggles. And it's all pastel and kind of coquettish because I feel like her outfit and her original outfit is getting very coquette, very girly and feminine. So I kept that. I kept even her artsy flair with the paintbrush on her shoe as the heel and like her carrying like a little paintbrush and some presumably watercolor tube. And yeah, here she is. She's very pretty, very aesthetic. I'm gonna keep saying aesthetic, so get used to it. Next up is Caddy Noir. Now, Caddy Noir is design I really love. Again, I think I just love glitters and like chrome shiny stuff. So a lot of these are that have that because I really like that. I also kept the turquoise accent she has in a lot of her other dolls because I feel like it really is a nice contrast to all like the pink and silver. Otherwise, you can see that she has a broken glass heel, like her boots are like have broken glass. She has like a 13 on her belly chain, as well as some disco balls on her ears. In my brain, Caddy Noir, along with Astronova, are New Year's Eve characters, so I kind of wanted to go into the New Year's flair, and even with the crystals in her hair to kind of emphasize that New Year's shimmery aesthetic. Next up is Claude Wolf. And also, I haven't really mentioned before, but some of the characters do reference like their G3 counterparts, as they use them in references like with body types and other aspects of their costuming and their design. In fact, for instance, for Claude, his like jersey hoodie inspiration came from his G3 design. I think his G3 character like model, like his main outfit, far surpasses his like dapper like new newsboy kind of vibe he has with his newspaper boy he has with his G1 design. And I give him the curly hair he also has from G one, two, three. Sorry, there's too many words with G. And yeah, I kind of gave him this like sporty basketball vibe with a jersey, some like a jersey with the Monster High logo, a basketball, and Draculaura's heart with a bat, as well as the shoes that have like the moons on them. Overall, this is very Claude in my brain. He's a bit taller, a bit more like just overall amazing, fantastic. Next up is Claudine Wolf, his older sister. I don't know. I kind of forgot. Her design is very just my interpretation of her. I really like her color palette, like the purples with the yellow, the neon green, and the like coral salmon pink. So I kind of went made sure like that was clear. Else it kind of gives, I don't want to, maybe 2000s like Meg Bling, I guess. I'm not 100% sure on like the 2000s fashion like exactly, but I kind of feel like it's giving that. And overall her design is just very pretty. It's a very like, it's kind of giving like she could be on like Ravens. That's a Raven. That's a show. Yeah, and also give her like leather aspects. I feel like she would wear leather. She definitely got this outfit while thrifting or from Claudia. Speaking of Claudia, she's up next. So Claudia Wolf is definitely inspired by the late 80s, early 90s with her padded with a padded shoulder padded blazer and her pantsuit combo, and she was heavily inspired by the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Obviously, you can see the character I was inspired by, and I really like that vibe, and I really think it suits like a corporate girly like Claudia, because we know she worked at least some form of corporate job when she was in London, before going to Hollywood. But even then, I feel like Hollywood is pretty corporate in itself. I feel like it still fits her. Also, she was also part of that same decades thing I did with Casta, and she was the 90s. So, moving on to Cleo Denial, the first of the Royal Denial sisters. So, Cleo's design, I tried to get a lot of inspiration from like ancient Egyptian jewelry and stuff, and a lot of ancient Egyptian jewelry have like these collars, and I wanted to kind of use that with Cleo, so we can see that kind of collar vibe like on her collar area. And otherwise, I kind of just made her outfit a bit more in my brain Cleo. I don't think Cleo would wear a jumpsuit, so I didn't really give her that, but I still kept that like idea of like the two. Not really, I didn't really keep the idea, but I kept the like see-through fabric and the glitter, and obviously the mummy wraps because she needs to stay alive. And yeah, here is my Cleo design. Very bougie, very chic. And next, sorry, is Deuce Gorgon. Deuce's design and like all the master designs you're gonna see actually have aesthetics and they're not just basic. So his is pretty streetwear and like alt inspired. He kind of has some punk inspiration as well. And I think it's really cool that the gold chains and stuff kind of have this very strong ancient Greek vibe. And he also kind of has a snaky, like more 3D scales on his arms, a snake like wrapped on his arms, and an earring that has a snake. I try to do as much of like this dark snaky green as well, because I feel like if a guy is snake inspired, may as well go full snake. So Draculaura is up next, and with her, I've already attempted her twice. And the thing with Draculaura is she's such an iconic character design, specifically her G1 like base design is so iconic. It's so hard to redesign it for that reason. So I really didn't look at this as a redesign of that, like trying to up that design, but trying to do my spin of it, as you could say. So I took a lot of inspiration from the G3 Sweet 1600s Draculaura because her design is so pretty. I love the little chain like skirt she has on, so I kind of used that as inspiration for the corset. She has some lace, some pink and like a little pinky collar with some bows and stuff. She's honestly very pretty and cute in my version. She also has her G3 body type as well. I feel like some body diversity is needed, so I feel that was super pretty. Next up is her sister from another mister. It's Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, I was really inspired by obviously the vampire heart. So I tried to use a lot of chrome in her outfit to kind of give homage to it. So there's these really cool like face coverings that you see on Pinterest. So I wanted to use that in her design. So you can see it on her cheek and even on her ear. She has like that chrome cuff. But on top of that, she is very inspired by Lolita fashion. So she has a layered skirt, some like vampy like belt sleeves, and even a corset. But you can see the vampire heart dead on her chest because I feel like it suits her so well. And even her shoes are like sharp, pointy, and chrome. She, I feel like this suits her so well. And I also gave her stronger red eyes, so because I feel like it just kind of sets her apart from Draculaura and some of the other vampires we see in the show. Next up is LED. LED is our cyberpunk girl, and for me, I try to put any form of like cyberpunk texture I could think of on her. So she has chrome, neon, glitch, holographic, iridescent. So she has a holographic skirt, iridescent like sleeves, like neon, obviously throughout her outfit, because throughout her body, because you can see it in the like lines on her body, and also her shoes are neon glowing and iridescent. She has glitchy like texture in her hair, as well as like chromatic jewelry and like corset and like headdress thing with a glowing crystal. Her design is one of my favorites. I think it's super cool. Also in her headdress, you can see a little satellite as well as some crystals being from it. Next is Frankie Stein. Now for Frankie, I was really inspired by a lot of fan art for Frankie. Kind of combined her G1 and G3 skins. So the blue with the green skin and the prosthetic leg. And I think that's so cool. So I kind of did that with her, keeping like the very prominent stitch markings, even the bolt on her next. But I also gave her like the blue in her hair because I feel that's so Frankie in my opinion. I feel like the blue really suits Frankie, and I loved it in her welcome committee doll. I think that's what you call it. I think that's the line. And her real drama doll. And also her outfit's kind of preppy. I imagine it's like a combination of different things she found lying around or thrifting or, whatever. I feel like that's kind of her vibe. I feel like she's really like a hodgepodge. So that's what I did with her, giving a little like denim, trench coat, plaid, office energy with lightning bolts everywhere. She's a mess, but I feel like that is Frankie. She's very much a messy character, even in the show. Next up is Finnegan Nevake. Finnegan's design is inspired by the fire elements in his wheelchair, so I kind of made him more of a fiery mermaid with like orange accents in his outfit, but also his tail and his fins on his head also have the like orangey gradient and has a sunset vibe because I feel like this fiery like epic energy really suits. And overall, I think he's pretty chill, pretty similar to his OG outfit. But I feel like this is like my twist. Also, I gave some belts on his tail, so he felt overall more decorated, more like a doll, I feel like. Next up is Garrett Durock. And for Garrett's design, I really don't like this one. I don't know. I don't think I did a good job at it. It's really not any better than his OG one, which I don't even like that much either. So with this design, I kind of went with like a fashion designer. A lot of fashion designers, they have this kind of boxy, kind of like unique sense of taste, and I feel like Garrett has that. I imagine he's kind of pretentious that way. Also, his overall design is a lot more floral as well, because one of his main story beats from the movie Scarist was the roses and giving roses to Rochelle. So I feel like he would be more floral. So I kind of want to give a homage to that and hone in that aspect of his design. Overall, his design's pretty, chill, relaxed. It isn't anything special, nothing to write home about, but it's done. Next up is Gulia Yelps. Gulia's design is one of my favorites. I honestly love it so much. Obviously, since she is a zombie, I made her look more decayed and stuff. I kept up with like a cherry color palette, so it's green, it's red, there's some yellow and black accents, and some white accents, and it's super pretty. She has like a skater aesthetic going on, so you kind of see that inspiration. You also see that she is decaying, so you can see her bone and muscle and bruises in places. I also give her a walking cane, so I feel like, she's overall super cool. She would love Deadfast, and I wish I would give a Deadfast sticker on her. That was like a mistake. Well, anyways, you can see a little like even Sir Hootsalot on her arm brace, and so many stickers and patches. I feel like she loves to like decorate everything with stickers. She does not waste a single sticker she gets. Also, she has some brain elements on her shoe. I feel like I had to mention that because it was like one of the favorite things. Next up is Gigi Grant. Okay, before I discuss my G design, I want to talk about one nitpick I see with a lot of Monster High redesigns. Most designs I see Gigi online are inherently Orientalist. So they use Aladdin as inspiration. Obviously, you can definitely see the Aladdin inspiration. And Aladdin is an Orientalist film, as it like homogenizes like Middle Eastern, North African, South Asian cultures into one, and like it's a mess. And you can see a lot of Gigi designs are a combination of two. Secondly, all of them use this like white man fantasy version of the Middle East of these belly dancers and stuff, and they put her in these like draping fabrics, which Gigi herself says she likes modest fashion. So that's one thing. Also, I highly suggest you guys do your own research on Orientalism. It's a really heavy topic, and I can't really discuss it in this video, as this video is already way too long. So please do your own research on this. And whenever drawing anyone's culture, do the research. Pinterest is not good inspiration for cultural fashion at all. Anyways, with Gigi design, I made her a bit more like spacey, a bit more astrological, because Gigi likes astrology. She likes studying the stars and stuff. So I want to give her this more spacey, pastel, colorful aesthetic while keeping her modest. One inspired by Arab lights. She has scorpion tail and scorpion fangs to give her that more monster high feel. A high ponytail like in her new Scare Master design. Also, I do want to mention I'm not trying to act high and mighty about my design. I'm not saying this is the best and the only design that you should respect of Gigi. There are hundreds of designs of Gigi Grand out there that are respectful and aren't Orientalist, but there's a lot that are. So I just want to bring that up. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I just want to bring this like situation up as someone who is Muslim themselves. Next up is Gilda Goldstack. Now she's also part of my decades Ghoul thing I did, and she is the 2010, so I was inspired by the Christian white girl autumn like aesthetic, pumpkin spice lattes, the Uggs, leather jackets, jeans, and like that aesthetic. I feel like you could see this picture, it's like the poster picture of this aesthetic. And I feel like for Gilda, she likes neutrals. I feel like she probably likes the fall aesthetic a lot. Also, I kind of give her some gold jewelry because she likes gold, and we know she hoards gold too from that one webisode she was in. So yeah, here's Gil the Goldstein. Next up is Gil Weber. Now Gil, no matter how polarizing a character he is, had a bad design anyways in G1. Where's his ears? Where's his ears? Also, he looks so much older than the other characters with his like high definition cheekbone and stuff. I still kept it, but I made it less prominent. Also, I gave him how his G1, G3 character, has that those like coverings on his gills. I still kept that his for his outfit. You can kind of see that ocean like map from the top on his jacket with like ocean pockets. He has like those trunks with the pattern from his G3 jacket on them, and like a glittery shirt to kind of like a fish scale thing, and some sandals. He's supposed to kind of casual, kind of chill, but kind of like avant-garde because I kind of felt like he needed something unique to him. So that's Gil done. Up is Goliath Jellington, and she, though at the time was not inspired by Chapel Rowan, but she has such Chapel Rowan energy that I just feel like I have to mention it. And I feel like Chapel has a lot of like these circus core kind of outfits where It's very like avant-garde. It's very clown inspired, and my Gigi design is Gallipy design is also very clown and circus inspired because she is a ghoul that comes from the circus. Was adopted by like the circus or something because she was abandoned as a child. So I kind of kept that up. She has a very avant-garde, over-the-top circus look. Her makeup is very extravagant, very chaotic. I also kind of give her drippy skin because I feel like that is kind of a key part of her character design. And yeah, she's very cool. Next up is Gory Fangtail. Gory never had a doll, just like Andy. So for Gory's design, I gave her a very vampiric aesthetic. You know, it's the red and black, big old high collar cloak, cape thing with like pearls and like those bloody pearls you see on Pinterest. That vibe. I also gave her a little like knife earring. She means business. She takes no haters. She takes no haters. I don't know if that's a phrase, but you get what I mean. It's I'm tired. Sorry. So yeah, here she is. She's a very vampy, very aesthetic. Anyways, moving on to Heath Burns. Heath's design, oh my god, it's so funny. So Heath's design, you can see it's very flame, very fiery. I give him a very fiery like joggers as if you were British, Australian, but or sweatpants. He has like a burnt fiery t-shirt. I feel like very burnt texture is kind of fun to make. Imagine he burnt through his clothing. He also has some fiery old sneakers and good old fire hair with some very weird bangs. I feel like this is very much Heath in my brain. This is what I think of Heath when I think of him. He would definitely have no fashion sense. He has a fashion sense of a 12-year-old boy, and I wanted to show that off. Next up is his cousin Holt. Now, Holt is fashionable. Holt has that race car F1 aesthetic that came popular over COVID, and I really, really like that aesthetic. So he has a big old racer jacket with Monster High, Pengo, because obviously me, and Mattel and his Skelet design. He also has like some checkered like belt loop things and a fiery two-tone pant-like thing. So one's white, one's black. It's as inspired by his shirt. And yeah, it's very aesthetic, very cool. Now it's Honey Swamp. She's so cute. I love her so much. So obviously for design, you can kind of see the clear filmography, film aesthetic, because we know she likes the film stuff, you know, all that thing. So I gave her like a clapboard for socks and some film as like the sleeves of her dress. Overall, her dress is more baby doll like shape with like a lotus flower and obviously lotus and like other floral and lily aesthetics going through her hair and her dress, as well as the swirls in her skin, giving her that like swampy kind of look to her. And she's honestly so cute. Also, you may realize she doesn't have makeup on either. I just feel like, I don't know, that this natural look was so cute on her that I didn't want to even add makeup to it. So yeah, this is her. She also more alligator now. She has the alligator tail and the alligator teeth from her OG design. Yeah, here she is, so pretty, so cute. We love her. Next up is Hoodooed Voodoo. Ignore design is literally the same design as his OG one. He just has a rip in his arm and doesn't have sleeves. I also gave him dreads. Next up is Howleen Wolf. Now, Howleen's design is inspired by combining both her designs and using the color palettes combined, which gives a very kitschy, kidcore vibe to Howleen, where I feel like suits her. She's really playful as a character. So combining these two vibrant and pretty different color palettes together gave it such a chaotic but colorful like energy to her that just suits her so well. I also give her a little tooth hanging out, and otherwise she's a very cute, very colorful. I love her a lot too. Next up is Invisibility. For him, he is my favorite monster, so I kind of gave him a lot of K-pop inspiration in his outfit. You kind of see that as well as trying to keep an invisible, like kind of clear aesthetic with a clear jacket, a hole in his pant, as well as a question mark on his belt to kind of give the like ooh mystery kind of thing. I also kept his beanie and made his hair a little longer, And he's telling the quiet, trying to make it a secret that he's gonna be invisible and stuff. It's kind of cool. I love this design a lot. It's very aesthetic in my opinion. Next up is Iris Clofts. Now, Iris in her I Love Fashion doll has like this really cool like tie dye vibe, and I wanted to continue using that. And I remember looking at her concept art from G3, and it was this really hippie hipster look. So I kind of went with this 70s tie dye hipster look. Again, she's also part of my decades goals I designed, and she was the 70s, obviously. So I kind of kept that like the same color palette from G1, but with the vibes from I Love Fashion, and G3 with that like peasant top and like peasant skirt and top with some nice little platform sandals and layers of jewelry, a headband, and like especially eye jewelry. Again, she's an eyes as like part of her aesthetic, so I feel like I had to use that. Then it's Izzy Dawn Dancer. Now, Izzy, just like Gigi and Batsy before her, is also pretty controversial. Controversial, sorry. She is was considered the daughter of the deer spirit, but Izzy is the word for deer in the Choctaw language, and I use that as inspiration. And in Choctaw folklore, they have the deer woman. On to Izzy's design. So Izzy's original design is very Coachella white girl aesthetic. So mine, I kind of went with more of a old money vibe to her. I would say old money, but it's more like fancy and definitely inspired by Choctaw regalia. So you can kind of see the regalia inspiration on the corset top with the kind of square box line I made, as well as the jewelry is and the colors from the jewelry are inspired by Choctaw beading. So you can kind of see it in her outfit. Also, any fan art I do of Izzy always has the same necklace choker thing. I keep with every design I do, I keep that vibe, as well as keep using the like symbolism in Choctaw clothing. So this infographic is from the Choctaw Tribe website. I'll link it down below with some of the other links I kept mentioning in this video. And yeah, so here is the vibe. I feel like I love her so much. She's a really cool and interesting character. I just wish Monster High, especially in G1, did a better job at representation and at respecting other people's cultures. Izzy's character could have been so much more, and I feel like I wish if she ever G3 comes in G3, she's way more respectful to Native American cultures as a whole, but specifically as a good representation of the Choctaw people. And after Izzy, it's Jackson Jekyll, which is just his original design, minus his hideous shoes and that bow tie and that ugly hairstyle, and including face stickers, a checkered like Vans, a more nice side swooped haircut, and some Ripton's jeans because I like making rips in jeans. Sue me. And also, he looks more messy as a whole, and he's wearing a nice tie. He's kind of very much nerdcore, and I want to respect that. Also, side note, him and Jackson, when I was drawing them, their face is the exact same. They're just a copy paste of each other's faces because they're the same person, just different different like personas, you can say. But like yeah, face color, like face, body, skin color. Oh my god, I am like crashing out over here, and aesthetics and everything, and like he has horns and fiery aesthetics. You get my point, anyways. We should move on to Jane Boolittle. Now, Jane's story is that she was a adopted daughter of Dr. Boolittle and Dr. Moreau, who are both explorers to, I'm going to say, South America. And though I think some fans say she's from India, I'm pretty sure. But to me, she is from South America. Her pet is Nettles the Sloth. So that's it. But that is not relevant to her design. Her design is relevant to the 1950s with Indiana Jones. I did her for a collab drawing, so this is not a part of the Decades Goals Though if she was, she'd fit easily being the 50s. But she wasn't. She was inspired by like Indiana Jones and other explorer fashion from the 50s era. And I feel that really suits her. I feel like obviously since she was found by some explorers to South America, she would definitely have that, you know, aesthetic. Overall, I kept her more tropical color palette. Also, I also gave her more floral, like flowery aesthetic, floral flowers and stuff. Again, similar to Batsy, I want to get them use the rainforest flowers and leaves to kind of make her seem like she used them in her outfit from the land around her. Also, she has a hat. I feel like I want to mention that because not a lot of ghouls wear hats in Monster High. And next up is Jennifer Long. Now, for Jennifer's design, this was part of a art trade I did with the artist Miilkyshookyarts on Instagram. I will again tag her in the description. And this was a part of a art trade we did. She like redesigned my Izzy Dawn dancer in her style, and I redesigned her Jennifer Neon Frights design in my style. Instead, now she's not Neon Frights. This is for me her everyday look. For me, this is Jennifer as a whole. The neon, the bright red and black. It's giving very much Shanghai like street fashion. So I kind of really leaned into that, giving that like very much aesthetic. So I kept a lot of the same aspects of her original design. Obviously, you can see the inspiration, but I did add a little more Chinese inspiration, like the sleeves, the trim on the jacket, and even she also has some dragons on her skirt, even though they're not pretty clear. I also gave her like a nice purple like belt with flowers and some purple like like tag on her shirt, on her jacket, because I feel like I wanted to give honor to that purple, but I feel like purple is so overdone in Monster High, but red and green together, especially this neon, is not. So yeah, she is so much cooler than her original design. Next up is Johnny Spirit or Elvis Presley. This is just Elvis Presley. I did not do any difference. I liked how I drew the leather jacket. It's pretty cool. He has denim jeans, a white singlet, leather boots, and that kind of smoky eyeshadow look. He has kind of like a toothpick cigarette in his mouth. He has a piercing, and he is just Elvis Presley. Anyways. Next is Kala Marie, the daughter of the Kraken. So, this needs also more background. Kala Marie's last name, Marie, is a creek found in Naram, or Melbourne, Australia. And Marie means creek, so yes, the creek is called Creek in English. But yes, and the word Mary itself comes from the Woiwurrung language, or the Wurundjeri people of the East Kulin Nation. So with this design, I try to be as respectful as I can to Wurundjeri like art and their face and body paint. So by using Google as best I could and using websites that were run by the Wurundjeri people, I found these two pictures of women in Wurundjeri face paint and body paint, and I try to use it as inspiration. So you can see the body paint from the second image with the like stripes, and the face like paint from both pictures to the same like face paint. Rosie design to me is very much cluttered. It's over the top. There's too much things going on. So I want to kind of tone it down. So her top is inspired by tropical core aesthetic, so that vibrant sunset-y color palette, and her tail is inspired by Wurundjeri art. Obviously, I did it, so it's not obviously authentic, and it's probably not the best representation. Again, look it up yourself. That's so much better to do. Don't trust me. Again, I am not Wurundjeri, nor am I Aboriginal in any sense. But since I live here and was born here, I want to give my respects to the Aboriginal people. And side note, this isn't as great scary. I feel like expecting like Aboriginal like representation in that movie should have been a given, but we know G1 wants to try. It's not good at that. So let's move on to Kieran Valentine, and for me, his outfit is very inspired by like K-pop boy groups and many other vampire concepts, and also general vampy aesthetics in fashion and outfits like lace, flower embroidery, and like a little heart in his hair. That one is just me. I think he deserves a little heart in his hair. I tried adding hearts and rose and flower inspiration in his outfit because we know those are like key elements of his character in the movie Sweet 1600, where he's introduced. He gives out roses and he stores hearts. So using that was a big part of the inspiration. Also, he has layered jewelry, gold, and stuff like that. Yeah. Next is Kiyomi Haunterly. So Kiyomi's original design is definitely inspired by Japanese schoolgirl, like you see in anime and stuff. And I didn't want to do that because I feel like that was pretty overdone. So I was more inspired by the cherry blossoms in her design. And I kept that in her actual outfit. So I had a lot of sakura blossoms or in her outfit, as well as making the chains attached to the sakura on her belt, as well as these floral leafy patterns. And overall, this more it's more put together in my opinion. Again, the design is very cluttered, so I try to clean it up a bit and make it more pastel-y and more like inspired by like pastel like fashion. And also she has a face mask that has an eye on it because, as it's pretty obvious, she doesn't have a face because she is a noperabo, which is a faceless ghost. So she wouldn't have a face anyways. So her mask that she puts on her is a sleeping mask, but it is her also her eyes, you could say. But it's not really her eyes because she just sees from her lack of features. Long story. I feel like she should have had no face, but I understand that would be kind of creepy for kids. So, anyways, moving on. Next up is Kikkerstin Trollson. Kikkerstin is a name given to her by Monster High fans to kind of separate her from Kikkersti. Kikkersti was an actual person, or was named after an actual person, who was a Norwegian fan who was rallying Monster High to have more disability representation in its dolls, and Monster High fired back by naming a troll character after her. I'm telling you, Monster High during its end of its era was getting really problematic, and hence why her name is Kirsten. So, her design is inspired by gaming. You can see by the Tetris, and the glitter, and the pixel art in her hair, and the pixel goggles, and the game console on her ear. Overall, her game is just very gamer. She's in her basement gaming, and that's what I want to like. The inspiration we're getting here. So yeah, a bit more cooler in her original design. I feel like she looks very much ready to compete in an esports championship or something. Laguna Blue. Laguna's design is iconic as ever. I feel like she, just like Dracula and even Claudine, it's very hard to top. But I feel like this design, I kind of did it. I feel like I did. I kind of like my design a bit better. So first of all, she has the same color palette on her top half of her body with the black, the look like the turquoisey blue, the pink. But I gave her also more of a pastel bluey pink purple teal gradient pants with like bubbly textures on it and like an ocean wave pant leg and some shell inspired shoes. I feel like she's very oceany. She's very calming. I feel like she's very calm to look at. Also, I like her hair in my version. I like how more poofy it is. Like the more volume and like I also I didn't keep the curls, I realized, but you know, you lose some, you win some. Next up is Lorna McNessie. Lorna, no matter how divisive a character she is in the Monster High fandom, is pretty cool. I feel like she's a pretty cool character. So her OG design's very Scottish. It is a very Scottish character. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. I wanted to go more of a Celtic vibe with her, more of a Celtic, pointing to her Celtic origins. So I looked at Celtic like patterns and stuff and like emblems. So I used that in obviously in the belt area, but also in the sash, holding her camera. I also gave her kilt design as like a shoulder wrap. Kind of gave her a more medieval kind of vibe to her with the Loch Ness Monster in her skirt and mossy textures in her hair and in her outfit with like those more swampy, mossy, loch-y colors, you know, like greeny color, turquoisey thing. Yeah, anyways. Luna Matthews. Luna's pose is directly inspired by her pose that we see in her official art, minus the face, which is facing us. She is inspired by Gyaru fashion because I feel like she really does suit Gyaru so much. I was just doodling Gyaru one day and I felt like that was so Luna, so I had to draw Luna in this style. So you can see the Gyaru inspiration with her denim fashion, her over the top big belt, the big old fur on her boots, but also, more obviously, her hair. It's very big, it's very loud. Her makeup is that typical Gyaru styled makeup, like the very light lips, strong highlighter, and the big doll like eyes. She also has bedazzlement on her pant leg, on her jeans, that are inspired by the city lights. And I gave that city light inspiration throughout her outfit because one of the reasons she wants to come to New York is because of city lights, because lights attract moths. So obviously, I feel like if she saw that in in a store, she would buy it, and I feel like, or she would DIY it. I also kind of went with a more sunset color palette because I feel like that kind of gives very much like Luna, and also you can kind of see like a sunset kind of vibe in her original outfit with her skirt. So I kind of went more forward with that. Next up is Manny Tor. Now Manny's design is a combo of both his designs, but also including Spartan like vibes. You know, the gold plating and like that red, like that this tunic aspect of his shirt, I guess. He also has a emblem that's based off like a maze, and he has that Greek pattern, ancient Greek pattern we see with his G3 design. Also, like G3, he has one horn broken, one horn not broken. I also gave him more of a longhorn bull horn, like those the long horns from those from those like Texan builds. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that was a cool way to show he's a bull. And also he's muscular like his like both his designs. And yeah, I feel like I like his aesthetic more. I feel like the gold plating was showing his abs, the tunic Spartan inspired top. I feel like overall it's very much kind of cool. It kind of gives such a cool vibe to it. Mercedes King. So Mercedes design, I combined both her G1 and G3 designs as I've done with a lot of these ones. But let's see with this one. I gave her that beehive hairstyle she has in the original one in her G3 design. But also I really went with that ballet vibe. Mercedes' character is the Rat King, and the Rat King is from the Nutcracker, so I wanted to give that ballet vibe. The point shoes and the pearls and the ballet skirt. I also kind of go an Art Deco vibe because she is from New York, and New York is a very Art Deco inspired. A lot of architecture is Art Deco, like the Empire State Building, so I kind of went with that. I also gave her some crystals, and there's a lot of cheese inspiration. Like her OG design, there's like a big old cheese top. My one, she has like kind of a more cheese puff like part of her shirt, and like some cheese earrings and necklace. I feel like small cheese aspects to hone in that she's a rat. Again, Mercedes is one of my favorite characters. I think she's really cute, so I want to kind of hone in on my design on her. Next up is Nefertiti. Her Boo York design, one of my favorites from the OG Monster High, one of her dolls. So really wanted to use that as inspiration, and you can see I did use it a lot in inspiration. But I also used G1 basis design and G3's design. G3 design is so cool. I honestly think it's better than the G1 base design. Like that purple peacock aesthetic is so cool, which would be era accurate as or era accurate to where she is from, ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt did have trade with the Indus Valley in South Asia via the Mesopotamians, and for again, just like I did with Cleo, her jewelry is also inspired by ancient Egyptian jewelry with the dress, the earrings, and the scarab on her like skirt. Also the necklace. I didn't mention that. Her necklace. She also has her name Nefra in hieroglyphics. I know hieroglyphics aren't like a direct for the English language. It's not like a direct dictionary. They're just those things. I just remember doing it as a child, and I find it kind of fun, so I kind of did it again here. On top of that, obviously she has a very snake top inspired with her, like her dress has like snakes in it and stuff, like her Bjork design. And she has those mummy wrappings, and her hair has like this shining glitter again, just like a Bjork design. I love Bjork designs, so I also used like a lot of drapey fabric from her both G1 and G3 designs because I feel like it was really pretty. So I used it in her hair, like to wait to like she tied her hair using it. I also gave her a slight crown to kind of homage the like weird gold cage she had with her high ponytail holding up by this clip, I imagine. Also, she has a braid like her both her basic dolls. She is very pretty in my opinion, and she's one of my favorites. Next up is Nathan Roth, and Nathan design is one of my favorites. When here's the guys. Again, I know I've said like favorite design so many times, but for him, it's sort of true. I love the like white artistic lining drawing thingy graphic on his like pants and his shirt. Like the swirls forming bones and like ribs and other bones on his body. Kind of like his OG design. I think it's really cool. Honestly, his original design is very 2010, very color block fashion. But for this era of fashion, it's a bit more alternative, a bit more cut up, a bit more galaxy. Because, you know, to me, unicorns are pretty galaxy inspired in my brain. So I went with that. I also gave him a proper unicorn kind of tail, you know, kind of that like skinny rat kind of look. I also gave him hooves because he's a unicorn. But because he healed himself, I didn't really give him a lot of the decay like you saw on Gulia, and you'll see on slow-mo when he comes up. So instead, I kind of kept him more put together. But I did give him that like scarring he has on his face that he has in his OG design, like the kind of muscle he does show, exposed muscle. I also give him some body hair because I feel like, and facial hair, because very little Monster High guys have facial hair, where in my brain and like me, a lot of teenage boys have facial hair. Although I am 19, so I don't know how much of a teenager I can consider. But when I was like in high school, I did have facial hair, and a lot of my classmates also had facial hair. So I feel like that's a pretty common thing. So moving on to the next character, Operetta Phantom. So Operetta's design is very inspired by like opera fashion. You know, she has, I would say opera fashion, but like she has very like grand, high fashion kind of look. As you can see from the inspiration, that like big old like cage chest piece, I did do it in like a more like Monster High, more less skinny, more thick kind of vibe. She has like a rockabilly skirt, the blood stain on her like on her like skirt, and her shoes make like musical notes and stuff. You can see it in her skirt, the musical like lining and note identifiers. Also in her shoes, they're supposed to be like beat music with like notes on it, and her heels held up by a treble clef. I kept her tattooing. I gave her that rockabilly inspired dotted scarf on her arm. She has big old hair, a big old like eye cover mask, like her OG design. I also kept her eye black because I'm pretty sure the Phantom of the Opera covers his face because it's deformed. So I kind of wanted to show that her face is also deformed. Like give her more the Phantom look, so she looks a little more ghostly. Also, she's also a little bit more muscular, just like Abby, but I think a little less muscular than Abby is. I didn't give her any of the dice because I feel like she was already pretty cluttered for my taste, so we didn't go ham on that. But she's still pretty ham already. So let's move on to Rainfall Serpentine. They are the daughters of the Hydra, you could say, and their OG design, just like Kala's, was very and is very over the top. It's so extra, it's insane. So we toned it down. We made it more elegant, more graceful. We made it more iridescent and more regal looking. And in my brain, they are Maori, so I gave them more textured hair, and also the Maori chin tattoo that women in the Maori culture have, because I feel like, again, Great Scary Reef, It's close to New Zealand. They could be Maori if they want to be. Also made their tail a bit more serpentine, so more serpent-like, snake-like. Because our OG one wasn't really, it was more mermaidy, not really serpenty. So I made it more serpenty. And yeah, this is pretty chill design, nothing much to say. Next up is Pilar Grande. Now you may know her by another name. Now her original name is actually slur for the indigenous Brazilians. So I'm not going to use that with her. And I feel like this is a name that some Monster fans have given to her because it literally means Bigfoot in Spanish. So I feel like it really suits her. Secondly, then the more obvious part. So I have talked about how many of these OG designs are so cluttered, they're so over the top, it's so colorful. And I come up around in my Pilar design full of colors, patterns, and stuff. I say this that reason why I don't hate mine and I hate the ones from Monster High is that the patterns are bigger. They're more bigger and there's a cohesive color palette going on. Even with Pilar's OG design, it's too much going on in the sense that like they don't really mesh well. So her design's obviously inspired maximalism. I also a lot of feet design. There's a lot of feet because her OG design had feet everywhere, and I feel like she's really proud of her feet. So that's her design. Very colorful, very pretty, very over the top, but in a tasteful fashion. Next up was Portergeist, sorry. Porter's design is very apocalyptic chic. You know, he has this cargo pants, that like harness top, holding the spray paint. His pants have the neon stripe, and also he has that like spray paint texture on his pants and shirt. It's kind of glowy. He looks like he's ready to be for the apocalypse. And I feel like a lot of times when you do face spray painting, you do have a face covering. So I kind of played in with that. Also, I feel like he's very streetwear inspired as well. There's some streetwear inspiration here too. Also, his pants are long as hell because he's a ghost. He can float around. I want to play with that. So he has feet, but his pants is really long. So yes, he's not that long. He's not that tall. He's pretty short on my brain. So yeah, he's pretty cool. Pretty chill design. Next it was Posea Reef. Now, in the original Monster High, she's daughter of Poseidon, but I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me. So I made her a coral nymph. Because we know she's like a guardian of like the corals and stuff. And I feel like if she's supposed to be just in the middle of this great secure reef, she would just be a generic old water monster thing. So she is a coral nymph. So because her OG design has a lot of corally inspiration with like the sea animals and the coral top. Yes, her design is also very over the top in my opinion, very eyesore. Mine is like comparably like underdressed. So she still has the coral inspiration. She has coral growing out of her body, like her tail and arms and stuff. Her body has a water texture like her OG design does. She has pearls everywhere and like seaweed and shells, and her tail is still inspired by seaweed. So she still has that coral, like kelp forest aesthetic. That also her hair is pretty long and big. Also, yes, her shell hat crown thing is inspired directly by this one picture I found of this siren core headpiece. And she also has like a vaguely avant-garde aesthetic going on. Yeah, that's kind of her. Moving on with two. Next up is for Stephanie and Reality, and they're inspired by J-pop and J-idol fashion. So they have this 2-chord piece set that you kind of both see in J-pop, where it's like kind of this like over the top, kind of this very like poofy, clean, like alternative look. So I kind of kept that vibe with both of them because I feel like they'd have this very similar aesthetic, but a very different way of showing it. So their makeup is the exact same. They're the exact same like hair accessories and earrings, but they've did their hair differently. So for Stephanie in the pink, it has longer braids with pink ribbons tying it, and her outfit is also like a 2-piece set, whereas Melody has like 2 low set buns and has a more like cupcake style dress with the orange plaid that's going diagonally instead of the straight up and down pink plaid. They both still kept that like raccoon tail in their hair because I feel that's pretty unique and I want to keep that still because I really like it. And yeah, now they look more distinct. So if they were to have dolls, they would be more distinct characters instead of being the same character copy pasted with like slight color palette changes. But yeah, here they are. Moving on to River Styx, and oh my gosh, she is one of my favorites. I love her so much. She is so adorable. My redesign, oh my gosh, she looks so tiny and so small, and I just want to hug her. She's so adorable. So River Styx is really small in my design, and she has a much more darker palette. I think I really changed her color palette the most out of most. I think where now it's this dark purple, gray, black aesthetic. It's way more Grim Reaper, but still that like cutesy vibe that she has in her OG one. You can definitely see that baby doll dress with the raven attributes, with the more like plush looking wings, the purple scythe, the big old bow and skull, the space buns with the bow with the raven wings and skull, the stars everywhere. She's still a galaxy, but now with the more raven and gothy baby doll aesthetic. Again, her outfit's also inspired by Goth Lolita specifically, so that's the inspiration, and this is the output. I feel like she's so cute. She's so pretty. Next up is Rebecca Steam, Hezekiah Steam's daughter, and I have the most headcanon for her. To me, she is Daisy. So she's ambiguously brown in the original one, but in my version, she is Daisy. To me, Hezekiah Steam is so Daisy looking to me. He has such strong Daisy dad energy to him, especially in mustache. My Daisy viewers will know what I'm talking about. So I kept that up with her. So she has a lenga top with like matching bottoms. So she has a like orange dot pattern with like gold or goldy bronzish like trims. And she has like mehndi on her that's gear inspired. She has like jumke and like a nose ring in the mangtek on her hair, in her hair. And obviously, I had to do this. I feel like we needed a Daisy Monster character, and I feel like Rebecca fits it so well. And the Victorian setting also makes sense. Colonization, am I right? She also has bangles. I failed to mention that, but I also kept her steampunk still. I didn't remove the steampunk completely for Daisy fashion, so her steampunk can still be seen with her jetpack shoes, her goggles, the skirt, and the harness, corset, and like the belt, like the leg belt bag thing, as well as the puffy sleeve shirt. Okay, so I'm gonna read this one. I don't like what I said. Okay, next up is Rebecca Steam, daughter Hezekiah Steam, and I have one headcanon on her. And if it's not clear to you already, let me mention it. She's now Daisy. I made her Daisy. To me, she is Daisy. In the cartoons and the movies and stuff, she's ambiguously brown with like a British accent. Obviously, if you want to like headcanon her as like a different race, whatever, that's up to you. To me, she is Daisy because I am Daisy and I want a Daisy cool myself. So, saying that, she has like a lenga top and like matching pants, both with the same patterning with gold trim and stuff. My Desi viewers will know that like usually like lenga tops and like matching pants are more decorated. They're more detailed, but I could not be bothered drawing those like small like designs. They're so intricate, and I don't think I could do them justice, so I couldn't do it. But instead, you get this like more dotted look that is common in like few and common in some styles of lengas and stuff. She also has like mehndi that's inspired by gears and stuff. You can kind of see that. She also has like desi jewelry like a jumke, nose ring, a mangtik, some bangles. And yeah, I also give her more of a medium cut haircut because I feel like that's like not a lot of ghouls have kind of like not too long, not too short hair. I feel like it really suits her. She also still kept her like steampunk aesthetic with the skirt, the corset, the harness on her leg, the jetpack shoes, and the goggles. Obviously, she is still going to zoom around the school. I also gave her those sleeves with those like gear pattern as well, because I'm gonna combine both Daisy and Steampunk together because I think that's super cool looking. And also she's missing an eye, mainly because when I drew her originally, like her original design, I didn't draw her eye in because I didn't think I didn't draw it because I didn't feel like it. So I kept it up, and in my headcanon, when Gulia was repairing her in the scare maze out in the scare maze movie, she couldn't find the extra eye, so she has one eye now. Let's just say that. Next up is Rochelle Goyle. Now Rochelle is inspired by these like porcelain like corset and arm and like knee covers I've seen on Pinterest all the time, and I wanted to use that to some ghoul, and I feel like a rock ghoul is where it should be. So you can see like more rose quartz design like look to her like porcelain attributes. She has a rainbow skirt, like her OG skirt also has a rainbow pattern, some pink trim, stained glass shoes, black net skirt, and like the fleur de lis on her like corset, a beret, striped undershirt, and a rose. She's very French. You can see I actually use the fleur de lis even in her shoes. She's very French in my opinion. She has a rose in her hair, as I mentioned, because Garrett the Rock gave her a rose, and I feel like she kept it in her hair. Moving on to Scare Screams. Scare Screams is 60s and is as 60s as it gets. She has big old earrings, go-go boots, a space age mod dress. So during the 60s was a space race in that era. People in the 60s started using like vinyl, plastic, and other unique like materials for clothing to kind of, inspired by like astronauts and also like the overall space race and futurism aesthetic. And I kind of use that as well in her makeup. It's very like spacey and galaxy, kind of starry, but also she is green and white. Next up is Seth or Pharaoh Ptolemy. So, coming from the Boo York royalty, his outfit, just like Nephra and Cleo before him, is inspired by ancient Egyptian fashion and jewelry specifically. Again, you can see the ancient Egyptian inspiration in his bracelets, the belt, and like the neck inspiration. Even in his OG outfit, he has it. So I kept that. I kept his baggy sweatpants. I gave him sandals because I feel like I don't know. I like sandals. They're kind of cool, and yeah, I also give him more textured curly hair, as well as a lot of piercings, like a pyramid on his like what you call it, like hoodie, his sleeveless hoodie. He's also been more muscular, and he's singing in his mic or rapping, whatever he wants to do in his mic. But Serena Wanbu, she is so cool. Oh my god. Also, side note, you may see that she has like yellow holes in her like design. That's because like for some reason I do not have the original like design of Serena anywhere where like the normal PNG, so I had to remove it off my like Instagram post. So that's why there's like yellow in her like tail and stuff. I was too lazy to remove it because there's so many holes in her like everything. So, anyways, on to her design. Obviously, you can see she's very textured, very over the top, honestly, but I think it suits her so well. So she is obviously daughter of a mermaid and ghost, so I kind of give her siren-y aesthetic. It's dark, it's spooky. She has still kept the chains on her neck, on her tail, but now I also gave her more a fishy look. She has gills on her arms, a spine on her tail, a big old like fishtail with like some spikes, and it's layered. She has big fishy ears, and like overall, also I kept the braids in her hair, but also the long curly wavy hair she had. Also keeping that like dusty like lime shade with the like purple. I feel like it's such a unique color combo, and I feel like it really suits her. I also kept other things, most of everything same. I gave her darker eyes because every ghost has like the darker eyes. And yeah, I feel like otherwise her design, obviously my one's been way more darker than her OG design, and I think that's kind of cool. Kind of more unique.
Next up is Skeleta Calaveras. So firstly, ignore the fact that I spelled skeletons wrong in Spanish. That is not how you spell it. She's the daughter of the skeletons, and I tried to write that in Spanish, but I misspelled it. So ignore that. Second of all, she's obviously based on Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead in Mexican culture, and specifically sugar skulls, as you can see on her head. So you can kind of call her a Catarina doll. On top of that, she's also has a lot of candle inspiration. As you can see, she's very waxy. She's very like shiny and glossy. She also has a lot of marigolds on her dress, especially in the corner of her dress, and also butterflies because her OG design uses a lot of butterflies. She also has papel picado on her dress, like the top of her skirt, just like in her OG version. Again, a lot of Dia de los Muertos like insignias and mementos. And her design was honestly kind of easy to do, but it was her body was kind of hard to draw, like the skeleton bones and stuff. Those are pretty difficult. Otherwise, she's pretty and she's gorgeous.
Next to Slomo Mortovich, or Slomo as we know him in the show and in fandom. Slomo, like Gulia, is decaying a bit. By bit, I think he's decaying a lot. He's missing an arm. His body is a bit more decayed than Gulia. I think he's a bit older than Gulia in my brain, so kind of that's why. He also has this typical guy's fashion you see every day, you know? I also gave him like headphones, kind of a chain, a graphic tee that says, like, has slow-mo, the S from slow-mo, and like a lightning bolt because I know it was a joke, haha, he's not fast. And a skeleton, like skull and bone because zombie decay. Next up is Spectre Wonder, guys. Spectre design is pretty cool in my opinion. I love the hair. I love the like the wispy texture I gave her, along with that spiky look you see in the OG design in her bangs. She has a layered skirt and top with like that purpley like corset and leathery top with like plaid with a plaid dress underneath, and then like a gradient skirt and like a leather glove and fishnets and stuff like that. Pretty cool. I love the chain distribution. It's not like too obvious, but it's still there. I love her. I also love how I kept her like high cheekbones and like kept the like darker makeup and stuff. I feel like she looks so like creepy, but in such a good way. She looks like she knows your secrets and she's just ready to use them on you. And also, this Spectre is a total gossip. Like in the diaries, this one's a total gossip. In her this show, she's a bit toned down, but she does not drop her gossip page at all in this version. Next up, Spelden called Dranello. Okay, he is the one and only comic book character I'm doing, but technically he was first introduced in Valentine's Diary as his friend. Just friend. So his design is pretty much just my interpretation was OG design. I made him more, I guess, streetwear inspired, baggy jeans, an orange jacket tied to his waist, some arm warmers, layered t-shirt, sweater, headphones. Pretty casual look, I would say. Like he also has like some like magical attributes in his shoe, like the star and swirlies. He has an orange, pink, and purple color palette. And I gave him his curly hair with orange and pink in it, orange and purple in it. For some reason, he has pink in the comics, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be orange, like Casta. So that's what I did. I feel like orange suits better than pink. I feel like we have so many characters that are already pink that we did not need more pink in characters, but I still kept the pink in him. But it's more salmon pink than it's like a true pink in my opinion. Next up, Torlai Stripe. Torlai design, so cool. So I redesigned my original Torlai Stripe design, and I like this one so much better. I love the like punk inspiration I took from. I made it like leg pants with the chains, buttons, fishnets, ribbons. She looks like she DIY'd it herself, which is the epitome of punk fashion, like doing it yourself. And you can definitely feel like this outfit she did it herself. She DIY'd this entire look from like leather and old jeans and like leather pants and like different tops she found in the thrift store and stuff. Her raccoon tail in her hair, along with giving her kind of like a wolf cut inspired like look and a bunch of piercings in her cat ear and also an eye mask. Again, this comes from me messing up the second eye, so I just covered up in an eye mask. I feel like it just goes with the outfit, I guess. Moving on to Twyla Boogeyman. And this one, just like I've said 100 times before, is one of my favorites. I have a bunch of favorites, but she's up there. I love her so much. She has such a dark dream aesthetic to her. She's such a whimsy goth look with the like with her layered skirt that is like cobwebs, like kind of spacey galaxy, some random swirls of vine, and overall like ruffles and stuff. She's kind of inspired by Lolita fashion, but not really fully. So you kind of see that she also has like a long shirt that has like the spider pattern from her original G1 design, but also her hair is G3 inspired with her from her Fearbook design with the like coming down. Her hair is tied up with bows. She has like a headphones on like we see in G3. It kind of was inspired by like Lolita headbands with the ruffles on the side. They're also bunny shaped because she likes bunnies and her pet is a bunny. So you see the bunny inspiration again on her socks. She also has her like her bracelet that she uses to stim with, and also a little spider coming out of her bracelet. I feel like she has a little spider friend. Her outfit obviously kind of has this like big old cape you can see, and that's inspired by like really pink and purple. Sorry, not pink and purple. I'm not colorblind. I promise. Nothing's wrong with that, anyways. With the like, obviously we can see the big old cape design, and her cape is inspired by kind of swirls and kind of giving this very like dream-like vibe to her. Like she controls dreams. So I kind of want to get that vibe. Her corset has that swirly design we see in like when you search up on Pinterest like Twyla aesthetic, Twyla Boogeyman aesthetic, you find this like one picture of like this like swirly turquoise purple thing. So I kind of want to use that as inspiration. So you see that in the corset. She has some cute little heels, and like I made her have the swirly black pattern come up onto her face and more like detailed in her legs and stuff. I also kept that door aspect that you see in her earrings, but this time it's on her like necklace. She also has more darker eyes, like if the shadows are coming into her, like her eyes are kind of shadowy and stuff. And yeah, she has this like very dark, oh, shadowy eyes. I don't think before I mentioned her little like top is like inspired by like stuffed animals. Cause again, she's nighttimey, dreamy aesthetic. So I want to kind of get that vibe in her outfit, give her like cozy but whimsical. Next up is Vendala de Blooms, and she's inspired by pirates. Yep, just pirates. She has the silhouette squid inspiration in her with her like cage skirt kind of thing with the like squid tentacle thing. She has an eye patch, again, stereotypical, you know, pirate thing. Her hair's pretty big and long with like sparkly glittery stuff. I feel like it was so cool for her. She's more muscular with like skirts and stuff, with layers of skirts, overcoat. Again, very pirate in my opinion. Also, she has a scar because she was fighting in. She was squashbuckling and she got a little scar from that. Also, she has a peg leg still in her design. I don't remove that. You can still see it. And let's mention the elephant in the room, her big old hat. It has a gold pirate ship and lots of faux feathers on it. I feel this is so cool. It just adds so much drama to like kind of a basic outfit. Is Venus McFlytrap. Similar to her, like she's also punk inspired, but she's specifically eco punk. So for her, you can see a bit more of that like leafy vines all over her, like in her hair, around her arm and legs. You can kind of see it. In her hair specifically, she has Venus flytraps in her hair. Also with her hair, I kind of combined G1, G3, kind of accidentally. I didn't realize her G3 design. The kind of micro twists were continuous on her hair. I thought they were just the front. I thought the other one was like not, but then I realized it was, and then I kind of forgot the doll also has like proper micro twist out of it. So now it kind of looks like just combo G1 and G3, which it kind of is supposed to be. And her outfits all seem more punk inspired now. It looks like she cut off some fabric, layered them on herself, kind of sewed them on by herself too. Like she did not buy this, she made this. And I feel like that's like just how punk's supposed to be. Also her makeup is way more alternative. She has more piercings like on her pinky, yellow, black, white plaid checker thing is from her like G1 design she likes. And she also has cargo shorts because I feel like when you search eco punk, it's all these like dusty brown khaki colored stuff, so I kind of want to use that while keeping her like the denim look that you see in her OG outfit with some like black leather accents here and there. Next up is the actual Coachella ghoul. Vibrant Gorgon, and I was really inspired by like a Western cowboy aesthetics. So she has cowboy boots, a kind of like a Coachella inspired like sun hat, a bandana, a denim skirt, a denim jacket with again snaky inspired top with some floral designs throughout her outfit. She still has her snakes, hard eye glasses. She's pretty simple. She's pretty cute. She has kind of that hipster look. Next up is Wisp Grant. Now, as I talked about with my Gigi design, Wisp is Orientalist, but I'm not going to discuss it again. We already heard it once. To keep it different, I made her way more like dark celestial inspired. So you can see it with the more yellow, black, and this neon, this like glossy white neon like pattern work on her pants and stuff. She has like a galaxy like skirt attachment to her like a butt cape, I guess. I don't know what you call it, but like, just some shoulder padded top with some like celestial random lining. Also, you can kind of see it in her shoes as well. And I kept the iconic bubble braid on her, but like I made it look more like a scorpion's tail because just like Gigi, she's also more scorpion. So she has a scorpion tail, like an actual one, and also some scorpion fangs. I also kept her a bit more modest, like Gigi, just for the sake of it. She also has a scorpion attached to her like top, and the scorpion has each of the planets attached to it as well. And yeah, she's pretty cute, pretty celestial. I love celestial fashion, so this is one I really am proud of. So I really love how everything looks and the textures and stuff. I love the pant especially. It's super cool. And finally, we are done, and it's Vidana Spider. Now, Vidana Spider is inspired by comic book superheroes, so I kept the comic book inspiration, but specifically the fact that she was a part of my retro gold line, decade gold line, and I made her inspired by the 80s. The 80s were known as the Bronze Age of comic books. So inspired by Wonder Woman, Spider Woman, and other female superheroes at the time, I had this outfit. It's pretty pop art inspired. You can definitely see with the like bright colors of the primary colors and this white. I'll try to do the shading from that era, which is like really dark lines and stuff. Yes, also I do want to mention pop art in itself is inspired by comic books, so it's kind of basically it's just a double inspiration here. I kept all her eyes, gave her a widow's peak, and a widow's peak, yeah, because she's the Black Widow, and also gave her a Black Widow on her belt, just to be on the nose, because a lot of times superhero costumes are like that. And her legs do have like a web design that's kind of like color blocked to like kind of get that comic book pop art vibe to her. And that's it. That's a wrap. That's right. That's all 75 characters. Truly insane. This is such a long project. It took over a year to finish, to be honest. Maybe not over a year. Maybe like a little under a year, but like it was a long time coming. I've been doing this since high school. I've always loved Monster High. So thank you so much for watching this video. There's so much I've yapped about and talked about. This is going to be a really long video. So thank you if you watched throughout the video. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next time, but a bit later because I don't have any ideas right now, but you will see me definitely. And yeah. So like, subscribe, and do all the fun YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.